The 1990s were the last time fashion made any goddamn sense. Before Instagram turned everyone into walking advertisements. Before fast fashion convinced us we needed 47 new outfits every season. Before luxury brands started charging $1,200 for intentionally ugly sneakers. The 90s were this perfect storm of comfort, individuality, and not giving a damn what anyone thought. And we've been trying to recreate that magic ever since, failing miserably every single time.
I have both of those that I won recently. 90s fashion is making a comeback.
Yeah, I was there unironically the first time around. Fox 5's Kendall Green shows us why some of today's hottest items are just new versions of what was trendy 30 years ago.
Let's start with the most obvious thing. 90s fashion was actually wearable. You could move. You could breathe. You could sit down without your jeans cutting off circulation to your legs. Baggy jeans weren't a political statement. They were just pants that acknowledged you had a body underneath them. Oversized flannel shirts meant you could layer without looking like you were smuggling furniture. Combat boots were comfortable and cool, which is a combination modern fashion has completely forgotten how to achieve. Compare that to what came before. The 80s were an absolute nightmare of shoulder pads so massive you couldn't fit through doorways, power suits that made everyone look like they were cosplaying as their own boss, and colors so aggressively neon they probably violated several Geneva Convention rules about psychological warfare. People looked like they were constantly preparing for either a business meeting or an aerobics class, with no in-between. The 80s were exhausting just to look at. Then the 90s rolled in and said, what if we all just relaxed? Grunge happened. Hip-hop style went mainstream. Minimalism became cool. Suddenly you could wear ripped jeans and a band t-shirt and nobody questioned whether you were trying hard enough. The cultural context was perfect. Generation X was rejecting the materialism of the 80s. The economy was actually decent for once, and the internet existed but hadn't yet ruined everything. People had identity without needing to perform it 24/7 on social media. The beauty of 90s fashion was its diversity. You had grunge kids in Seattle wearing flannel and Doc Martens, looking like they just rolled out of a very comfortable bed. You had hip-hop culture bringing us baggy jeans, Timberlands, and oversized jerseys that were both a style and a statement. You had the minimalist movement with slip dresses, simple lines, and the revolutionary concept that sometimes less is actually more. You had ravers in massive pants that could fit a family of 4, and somehow all of these styles coexisted without everyone losing their minds about who was doing it right. Kate Moss in a simple slip dress and combat boots became iconic. Not because she was wearing a $10,000 designer piece, but because she made a $50 dress look effortlessly cool. Winona Ryder could throw on jeans and a leather jacket and look more stylish than anyone on a red carpet today, wearing a gown that required an engineering degree to put on. The Spice Girls wore platform sneakers and told everyone to embrace their individuality, and people actually listened instead of just pretending to for Instagram engagement. Then there's the denim situation. The 90s understood that jeans should be comfortable. Baggy jeans, boyfriend jeans, wide leg jeans, all designed with the radical notion that your legs need space to exist. You could wear them all day without needing to lie down and unbutton them after lunch. You could sit cross-legged. You could bend over without everyone seeing your entire underwear situation. These seem like basic requirements, but somehow the 2000s forgot all of this and gave us low-rise jeans that were basically denim torture devices. The 90s also gave us the perfect jacket game. Leather jackets that actually looked cool, not like you were trying to audition for a motorcycle gang. Denim jackets that you could layer over anything. Bomber jackets before they became a $2,000 luxury item. Windbreakers in colors that didn't make you look like a traffic cone. And flannels, beautiful, perfect flannels that kept you warm, looked good, and cost about $15 at any thrift store. Footwear in the 90s was unmatched. Doc Martens were everywhere, and they were actually affordable. Chunky sneakers like Buffalo platforms were ridiculous, but in the best way. They were fun, they were bold, and they didn't pretend to be anything other than shoes that made you taller and looked cool. Converse and Vans were just shoes you wore, not status symbols that required camping outside a store for 3 days. Timberlands were durable boots that happened to look great, not $200 fashion statements. And let's talk about the lack of logos. The 90s were the last era before everyone became a walking billboard. Sure, there were some logos, Tommy Hilfiger, FUBU, maybe a small Nike swoosh, but you weren't covered head to toe in branding. You didn't need a giant Gucci logo across your chest to prove you had taste. Fashion was about the actual clothes, the actual style. Not about screaming, "I spent money" to everyone you passed on the street. The accessories were perfectly low maintenance. chokers made from black ribbon that cost literally nothing, tiny sunglasses that were objectively terrible for sun protection but looked amazing, butterfly clips that served no functional purpose but added personality, wallet chains that were both practical and punk, scrunchies in every color that didn't damage your hair like modern elastics. Everything was cheap, accessible, and actually fun. Here's what really made 90s fashion superior. It wasn't trying to be an investment. You weren't buying a t-shirt thinking about its resale value. You weren't treating your closet like a stock portfolio. You bought clothes because you liked them, wore them until they fell apart, and then bought more. The concept of limited edition clothing was mostly reserved for actual collectibles, not every single item a brand produced to manufacture artificial scarcity. The 90s also understood proportions in a way modern fashion has completely lost. Oversized top with fitted bottom, or fitted top with baggy bottom. Not everything oversized until you look like you're drowning in fabric. Not everything tight until you look vacuum sealed. There was balance. There was thought. There was the understanding that fashion should enhance your body, not fight against it or completely hide it. Then the 2000s happened and ruined everything. Low-rise jeans that showed your entire hip bones, juicy couture tracksuits that made everyone look like they were headed to the gym, but also a nightclub, but also nowhere specific, skinny jeans that required an engineering degree to put on. Everything became about being sexy, being tight, being flattering according to someone else's standards. The comfort and individuality of the 90s got thrown out for this hypersexualized, uncomfortable, trying way too hard aesthetic that dominated for almost 2 decades. By the 2000s, fast fashion had completely taken over. Suddenly, you were supposed to have a new outfit for every Instagram post. Trends changed every 3 weeks. Nothing was built to last because you weren't supposed to keep it. You were supposed to buy more. The environmental impact became catastrophic, but everyone was too busy chasing the next micro-trend to care. H&M and Zara convinced everyone they needed 50 new pieces every season, all made in sweatshops, all designed to fall apart after 3 washes. Social media made it exponentially worse. Suddenly, fashion wasn't about personal expression, it was about performing for an algorithm. You couldn't just wear what you liked, you had to wear what would photograph well, what would get engagement, what influencers were being paid to promote. The authenticity of 90s fashion, where people actually dressed for themselves, got replaced with this exhausting performance of curated aesthetics and outfit of the day posts. The luxury market went completely insane. Balenciaga started selling distressed sneakers for $1,850 that looked like they'd been found in a dumpster. Gucci charged $1,200 for t-shirts with their logo plastered across them. The same brands that used to represent actual craftsmanship started producing overpriced garbage and calling it ironic or deconstructed. The 90s would have laughed this stuff out of existence, but somehow we all just accepted it. Even when fashion tried to bring back 90s trends, it got it wrong. They brought back chokers but made them $300 designer pieces. They brought back baggy jeans but somehow made them look try-hard instead of effortless. They brought back platform shoes but charged $800 for them. They took everything that was accessible and authentic about 90s fashion and gentrified it, corporatized it, and sold it back to us at luxury prices while completely missing the point. The 90s understood something fundamental that modern fashion has forgotten. Clothes should serve you, not the other way around. You shouldn't need a tutorial to put on your outfit. You shouldn't need to plan your entire day around whether you'll be able to sit down in your jeans. You shouldn't need to take out a loan to look decent. Fashion should be fun, comfortable, and expressive, not stressful, painful, and financially ruining. Looking at 2025 fashion, we're still trying to recapture that 90s magic and failing. We've got the aesthetics but none of the substance. We've got the baggy jeans but they cost $400 and come pre-distressed from a luxury brand. We've got the minimalism but it's been turned into a $2,000 capsule wardrobe sold by influencers. We've got the combat boots, but they're fashion combat boots that fall apart after 6 months instead of lasting a decade. The 90s were the last time fashion felt democratic. You could thrift your entire wardrobe and look just as cool as someone who shopped at expensive stores. You could mix high and low, vintage and new, grunge and preppy, and nobody cared as long as you wore it with confidence. There was no right way to dress. There were just different styles and they were all valid. What's truly fascinating is how the 90s managed to be both the peak of individualism and the peak of accessibility. You could express yourself without spending a fortune. You could be comfortable without sacrificing style. You could follow trends or ignore them completely, and either choice was fine. Modern fashion pretends to offer these things but actually offers the opposite: expensive conformity disguised as personal expression. The 90s also had better quality. A $30 pair of jeans from the 90s would outlast a $150 pair today. A $20 t-shirt was actually made from cotton that could survive more than 5 washes. Fast fashion hadn't yet convinced everyone that disposable clothing was normal. People bought less, but kept it longer, which was better for their wallets and infinitely better for the environment. And maybe most importantly, 90s fashion didn't take itself too seriously. It was fun. It was experimental. It was okay to look a little ridiculous sometimes. Now everything is so curated, so calculated, so focused on looking aesthetic for social media that the joy has been completely sucked out of it. Getting dressed has become another performance, another thing to optimize and stress about instead of just a way to express yourself and not be naked in public. Whether you lived through the 90s or you're just discovering it through vintage stores and your parents' old photos, you have to admit that decade got fashion right in a way we haven't managed since. It was the sweet spot between caring and not caring, between style and comfort, between individual expression and cultural movements. It was fashion at its best: accessible, diverse, comfortable, and actually cool. And honestly, that's more than you can say about any fashion era since. We've spent 25 years trying to improve on the 90s and somehow made everything worse. Maybe it's time we stop trying to reinvent fashion and just admit the 90s already perfected it.